of the government in this case is that first initiator of different services should be the governmental organizations. And for example, in Georgia, we have quite long-term strategy. And according to our strategy, at the end of next year, there will be minimum 50, 70 services available in Georgia. So it means that from governmental side. And what kind of services? You will be able to, for example, register your property in online with ID card, or renew the registration. You will be able to register company in online, or you will be able to tax car to pay taxes or fulfill the tax declarations in online, or you will be able to have birth certificate in online, and you will receive that through post office. So all different services will be available in online. But also very important is to work with private sector, because private sector is giving the services to the citizens which they need in everyday life. So in this case, what we are working is that we are doing some different workshops for banking sector, for insurance sector, in order to motivate them and in order to show them what kind of benefits ID card usage are bringing to their businesses, and what kind of new businesses they can start with the ID card infrastructure. Very important is also simple and user-friendly services, because we have seen, we are experiencing many different online services around the world, and of course like in Georgia as well. But many of them is really hard to use, because we're speaking about the mass of population, yes, people who are not so well in usage of computers or in usage of technologies. And if there is complicated procedures to use online services, it will be really hard for them to get aware of that or to get used to that. And so it's also very important to have very simple services available. For example, when you want to register your property, according to our strategy, you will need just to click only one button and the property will be registered. So you will not need to fill in the application and so on, because ID card gives you tool to fill in the application automatically, in automatic way. Educational campaign, this is also very important, and public awareness is very important for ID card usage. From one side, it is advertisement in TV companies or in newspapers, but from the other hand, very important is that when we're creating some service distribution channels, there should be quite good, like a video, let's say, video lessons for the citizens, in order to be to learn usage of the ID card in the simplest way. And pushing of these services. We have called this like a forced part of forced part of way to success, the pushing of e-service, and what we mean in that. Many services in Georgia will not be available without ID card. So it means that we will push citizens to use ID card in different services. We already have this kind of experience. For example, you cannot fill in the tax declaration in offline, in paper-based in Georgia. You should receive the username and password in tax office, and you are using this username and password, and you are filling the declaration in online. If you will bring the paper-based declaration in our office, nobody will receive that. So we made the business sector especially to use the online declaration system. Of course, in the first 2-3 months, there were quite big criticism in this way, because people preferred like the old way of working. But after 3 months, everybody were happy with this system, because they saw that it has simplified their everyday work, because they can do now many things in automatic way, and they don't need to lose huge, let's say, they don't need to lose the time for coming in different offices or going through the details, and what is most important, this is possibility to avoid the mistakes in everyday working process. So we think that we will have this kind of strategy in future as well, especially for public sector. And for example, it will not be able to, let's say, send the paper-based documents maybe in 1-2 years from one governmental agency to to another. They need to sign electronically, digitally, and they will be only able to send this document electronically. So it will make us to, let's say, teach people and to this ID card like usage, and also very important is that it will simplify everyday work. What kind of economic, social and economic effects brings the ID card? This is also very important. So, transactional cost. We are decreasing the transactional cost. Why? Because instead of huge offices, instead of huge lines, instead of huge number of, let's say, employees, we have just online applications, and the system is working automatically. And what is most important, that all resources what we have, we can, let's say, use for new service development instead of like keeping some service levels, or instead of building of new buildings, or instead of organizing the new service like areas in different cities and districts or a different part of the world. Environmental expenditures, and when I spoke about the governmental usage of digital signature, just imagine if there will not be paper usage, if there will not be printer usage in governmental sector, we will decrease the operational cost dramatically. And this is also very important effect what ID card brings and this infrastructure bill brings to us. Effectiveness and customers' content. Everything is customer oriented because everybody will be happy. Of course, from as I mentioned from the beginning, everybody prefer to use the service what they are used to, but whenever they will start using of new services, e-services, of course they will be happy with that because it simplifies the life of the people and businesses in the country. And effectiveness, it means that we can reorientate our investments, and we can be more effectively looking on the future developments, and we will have more time for that. Also very important is in terms of efficiency that ID card brings us possibility to have 24/7 services. So now if we are delivering services to the citizens, or if again businesses are delivering citizens to the customers, there is the time limitation from 9 o'clock to 5 o'clock or some different schedule for the working time. And instead of all these procedures, you have 24/7 working period, because any person from any place in the world can apply for any service anytime. This is very important, like what ID card and these technologies brings to us. And again, for example, Georgian citizens, they will be able to access public or private services, business services, from any place in the world, and they are already using this kind of services. Again, many services. This is some kind of challenge for us, and also educational campaign what we need to create. And one-to-many, the principle one-to-many. This is also very important, and we're working, for example, to creating of my personal portal for each citizen. And what it means that all information what is stored in governmental agencies will be brought in one portal, plus all services which are available in online from public or private sector will be brought in one portal. And very important is that whenever you will log in with your ID card, this a screen will be customized specially for citizen, for you, and you will be able to access all your information, to receive very interesting and statistical data, and very important is that you will be able to access in simplest way the many services, different online services what we have around in country. What are the outcomes of this project? Process transparency. So this is very important outcome because in fact everything is transparent. There is no possibility for fraud or falsification. Impossibility of corruption, because if you will have e-services in place, it's impossible to bribe the computer. Yes, you cannot give the money to computer. So this is also very important there. Less resources and cheap services, and reduced bureaucracy. So instead of bringing different papers, huge number of papers in different offices, you need just to apply from your home, from your house, or from your work, and you will receive the service. You don't need even to come there. And very important is, in terms of bureaucracy, that we are changing, in fact, the old way of working, like procedures. Like previously, we were sending the documents from one to another, like governmental agencies. This infrastructure gives us possibility to have online exchange of information, and whenever a person is applying for some service which needs to check the information in other governmental agencies, you are getting that information also in an automatic way. I can bring the example in this case. For example, to change your residence place, you don't need to bring any document now in Georgia. Why? Because we have linked civil registry and public registry databases, and whenever you are applying for changing residence place, system is checking it automatically, your which house, which property belongs to you, and you are just selecting from in which house you want to be registered. So this is the e-governance, let's say, what we need to create in Georgia, and what we're working on to create. And I think that also very important is that whenever we have all these tools in place, then is coming the place for proactive services. Because now, especially from governmental side, services are based on applications. So you should apply for something in order to get the service. For example, if you want to get the pension from government, you need to fill in the application for that. Then there is some commission who is discussing whether to give you the pension or not. So we think that future services that whenever you are 65 years old, you are getting the SMS on your mobile phone screen, happy birthday, you are 65 years old, and here is your pension from government. You will receive like a monthly payment, something like this, yeah? So I think that this is the future of the services, and this is the future of governmental bureaucracy, what we are working on in Georgia. And then future projects, what we have also in Georgia, this is mobile ID, what we want to work on, but in this case, we are dependent on private sector as well, because it is very important to involve in this process mobile operators. Only our efforts will not be enough for that, but we have quite good, let's say, foundation until now for that. So it's quite good. It is quite good basis to develop that. Travel document, and we already signed, for example, ID as a travel document. We already signed the agreement with Turkey, and we hope that from next year our citizens will be able to cross the border with ID card, driver's license, state insurance card. So all these documents will be incorporated in ID card. So there will be just one document which will be your insurance card, which will be your healthcare card or disability card, or different documents which are issued from governmental or private side and private companies. So these are just briefly about our project and about our experience and our vision, what we have in regarding EID. And now I want to show the film Georgia of the Future. This is also some film what we have made, what we have made just to show our vision of and the way of development. Please don't criticize us if you will see some idealistic or futuristic ideas in this film, or if you will think that some ideas are unrealistic. But I hope that this conference in the venue when we're all technologically oriented people and people oriented on innovations, and I hope that there will not be such a big criticism. Why we are doing all these reforms? Because because of instead of all developments what we have in Georgia, we have quite big problem. We need more economic development. GDP per capita is not satisfactory yet, and we need more investments. That's why we want to have best environment for doing business for different businesses in Georgia. And finally, you will see in this film some buildings, an interior of public service halls. This is the project what we have started from 26th of May, and we have opened first public service hall building in Batumi. What is public service hall? Public service hall is the space where you can get, citizen can get more than 250 services in one space. So instead of one-stop shop principle, we have created principle of everything in one space, and it means that many different governmental agencies has unified their front offices, and we have created under Ministry of Justice the one front office, let's say channel, like the one channel for service distribution for the citizens, and only like management system what we are using is that we're dividing services in three parts: online services, quick services, and long services. So this is the another project what we have in country. So alternative for public service hall will be the public service hall in online, what we are working on after using like issuing of EID. So again, let's see the film, and then I'm ready to answer all the questions. Thank you very much. Alt. Some. This is public service hall before there was some. Unfortunately, not all the time technologies are working in the way that it should be. That's why many people prefer, instead of electronic documents, to use old one, like paper-based documents. Yeah. Okay.
The next bus will be in 1 minute and 37 seconds. Identification. Utilities paid. Next station, Public Service Hall. Alessandro. New message. To pay for the reserved air tickets, payment is recommended today before 10 a.m. To pay for the reserved hotel room, payment is recommended today before 12 a.m. Operation completed.